I want to talk about something that's really important for bookkeepers as part of their business, and that is to have a new prospect intake questionnaire as part of their pre-qualification process for their new bookkeeping clients. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why do I need a new client intake questionnaire? Can I just get all that information from my client on the phone or through email? And while you could do that, it is not optimal. An intake questionnaire allows you to ask a lot more questions, especially before you sign them as a client, in order for you to determine what is it that they're looking for, what is their business structure, and if it's even possible for you to provide the service that they're looking for using the systems that you use in your business. Having this type of intake questionnaire in place will actually make the onboarding process a lot smoother and more efficient for you and for your prospect client. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, hello. If this is you coming back, welcome back. My name is Veronica Sagastume, and I am a bookkeeping business strategist and coach. Welcome back to my channel, The Bookkeeping Shop. Here we talk about all things related to starting, running, and growing a profitable bookkeeping business. In today's topic, it's all about how to pre-qualify your bookkeeping clients before they become clients, because sometimes they are not a good fit for you and you may not be a good fit for them. So let's make sure that we put certain things in place so that you end up with the right client and they end up with the right service provider. Before I go into today's topic and giving you some tips, I want to share how I recently used this intake questionnaire in order to pre-qualify somebody that came to us, and they were referred to us by another client, which was great. But after I met with them during our preliminary discovery call, I told them that I was going to be sending an intake questionnaire that would help me to gather a lot more data in order for me to determine what the service package was right for them, and also for me to determine how much volume they had so that I was going to guide them to the right service package at the right fee. So once I send that out, again, I send it out with a little bit of an email introduction as well as guidance and next steps. I guide them to let them know, please fill out every section in this questionnaire, because it allows us to then review it and determine whether or not we can go to the next step. I did that. They filled it out. It took them a couple of days. It's a very thorough intake questionnaire because this is your time to gather as much information as you need, not only for information that you need immediately to, provide a proposal of sorts, but to also later on, if you do take them on as a client, you will need that information later, and it's going to be at your fingertips. The prospects filled it out. They sent it back to us. My team and I reviewed it. I have my team meetings once a week, and based on the answers that they gave us, we knew that we were not going to be a good fit. They were not going to be a good fit for us, nor were we going to be a good fit for them. They used very different software that we use in our firm. They used different systems, and what they were looking for was outside of our area of expertise. If we had taken them on, they were going to be frustrated, and we were going to be scrambling and be frustrated as well, because when you take on a client that doesn't use the systems that you use, it takes a lot of time to get to know that system, to learn about it. You make mistakes, you got to fix them, and then it ends up being on your dime because it cuts into your time. So I use this intake questionnaire, their answers, and in order for me to determine whether or not we were going to be able to move forward. And we were not. So I immediately let them know, which is why it's so important that you are clear on the systems that you use, the software that you're going to be using to deliver the service, and the services that you provide, so that then you can very easily pre-qualify a prospect to determine whether or not they're going to make an ideal client for your firm. There is so much power in this intake questionnaire beyond just data gathering and asking a bunch of questions. It allows you to set the expectations right off the bat, as well as establish a really good boundary in communication with your prospect. Now, in this case, I didn't leave them stranded. I did let them know that we were not going to be able to take them on as a client. However, I provided guidance for them as to the type of accounting and bookkeeping service that they're looking for and that they need. And then I also recommended 2 people that may be a good fit for them, and I made an email introduction. So they still felt very grateful and very appreciative of my time and additional steps that I took to recommend them to associates that may be able to support them. So it was still a good relationship builder. They'll definitely think of us the next time. And we let them know the reason why we were not going to be able to take them on. And so it was a win-win all around. This is just an example of what this intake questionnaire can do for your business and for your prospects. So let's start by talking about what is this new intake questionnaire form that I'm referring to. It's called different things, but basically what it is, it's a document that you have prepared ahead of time. It's a template. You can always customize it a little bit more if you want, but you start out with this intake questionnaire and you send it to a prospect client before you actually start working with them. This client intake document is where you gather information about their business, their company structure, their services that they currently think that they need versus what they probably actually need, as well as get a sense of systems that they use, the volume. All of these different factors allow you to data gather. You're data gathering so that you can then review and then provide some proposal and some guidance as to what would be the best service that they would fit into. Is it the starter package, the medium, or the larger, or somewhere in between? But you need those answers in order for you to know what service to provide, what systems you will be using, and to make sure that it is a perfect fit right from the get-go. Now, I hope that you're seeing the power of this type of questionnaire and that you're not just thinking that it's just another form for them to fill out and for you to file away and never see it again. Not at all. This type of form can actually save you time and also save you from hassles later on by not having good communication or miscommunication. Now, I don't want to repeat myself, but I feel like I really need to make this point. This type of intake questionnaire will allow you to get all the information that you need in order to provide a proposal that is in line with the services that you offer, the systems that you use, and the fees that you charge, so that you set really good expectations and also provide them with the opportunity to select additional services that they may not have been thinking of. Moving on to the next point. Having the answers to this intake questionnaire will allow you to know what it is that you need to know in order for you as the bookkeeper to perform your job not only effectively but beyond, to exceed expectations. But if you don't know what their expectations are, what their services are that they're looking for, it is going to be really hard for you to hit that ball out of the park or hit the nail hit the nail on the head or hit the bullseye. Cliches are not my forte, so bear with me. But I'm just saying, in order for you to know what the target is, what the expectation is, you need to gather that information. And the way to do so is by asking these types of questions. I'm going to share another secret with you. This kind of questionnaire, you will refer to it over and over and over again. If they become your client, you're doing so much data gathering at the front end that it'll keep you from having to chase down this type of information later on. That's where it starts to get time consuming when you have clients that are not responsive or they're really busy, you're busy, they're busy, and then oftentimes you're waiting for them to give you this information. So by gathering it up front between this intake questionnaire and later on in another video, we'll talk about the actual onboarding checklist. That's more for internal purposes. But this intake questionnaire gathers so much information at the front end that you're able to, not only will you do your job, will you be able to perform it efficiently and timely, but you will have so much data that comes up throughout the year, seasons, that you won't have to chase it down or bother your client again, because you will already have it. This type of intake questionnaire, at least mine anyway, it also includes like a section of like, hey, check the services that you're interested in. And the beauty of that is that they may think they need certain services, but they don't even know what they don't know. So by you having a sort of checklist of services that you offer, that you're really detailed, just simply saying things like bookkeeping, it's not enough. Break it down for them so they can see all the different services that are available to them that you can offer. For example, if you say accounts payable, it's not just accounts payable, it's vendor management, vendor contract management, preparation of 1099s the once a year, or it's, setting up the electronic filing system, entering bills, applying payments, vendor communication. Break it down. And so while you are doing this intake questionnaire for both your purposes, but you're also helping your client to help you, by giving them the opportunity to select other bookkeeping services that they may be interested in, which in the long run helps your business as well. Finally, having this type of intake questionnaire for prospects can help you to streamline your onboarding process. This is part of the new client onboarding process before you even start working together. It helps you to establish expectations, boundaries, communication, misunderstandings, miscommunications. And by you having this type of process for all of your prospects and clients, you will be sure to gather all the data that you need right from the get-go and treat every single person the same way so that you will know if something's ever missed, you know exactly in what step of the process it got skipped that you need to then fine-tune, adjust, or fill in the gaps. This ensures that there are no surprises along the way. That is what a standardized operating process, SOP, standard operating procedure, is all about. Doing something the same way each time so that you're not missing information at different times of your onboarding process. So what should you include in this prospect intake questionnaire? Good question. Let me tell you. It will depend on the type of bookkeeping service that you have and the things that you offer. But to break it down, here are some general basics that you should definitely include. You always start with the basic information, the name of the prospect, their business name, their contact information, email, phone number, cell phone, address if you need to. And then we quickly move on to their business information. What's their entity structure? What is there on a calendar year, fiscal year? When was it established? Have they filed tax returns? What are the type of tax returns? Believe it or not, you need all of this information, maybe not for the quoting of the proposal, but for later on. So this is a time to gather it all. Then we move on to what systems do they use? What's their accounting system? If payroll system, if applicable, expense report, bill pay. Basically, you're just trying to gather as much information as possible. Just think about the cycle. What's their banking? And again, you're letting them know that you need all this information in order for you to determine whether or not you're going to be providing this service. I usually have a little templated email that I send with them. And then you're going to ask their specific bookkeeping services that they're interested in. And this is where you flush it out and give them the opportunity to tell you even more. Bank reconciliations, credit card reconciliations. Will you need to prepare invoices, prepare payroll, sales tax returns, all that good stuff gets put into that section of the intake form. You want to know what deadlines are coming up. Are there estimated tax payments? Are there sales tax returns, payroll taxes that you need to submit? Or, maybe there's annual policies that need to be renewed. You want to know what kind of deadlines so that you can help them help you. Or maybe I often will tell my prospects, hey, if this doesn't pertain to you or you're not interested in us offering the service to you, just put an NA for not applicable. Help them to set the expectation, not only for yourself as a bookkeeping business, but for them as a client. So they know, hey, you're being very thorough. What is it that they can expect from you? And then at the end of the intake form, you may have an open-ended section where you ask them to let you know if there's anything else that they want to share with you. Maybe they want to share goals. Like I had a prospect who said, I want to be able to sell my business within the next 12 months. And I need my books to be ironclad, steel books. So I wanted to make sure that I included that section in the intake form because I would have never known that if I had not asked. And, the prospect is trying to do their best with showing up with what they need, but sometimes we need to add additional prompts, additional questions in order for the prospect to know we've got them. We're the experts and we're going to gather all that information in order for us to provide a great service. Now, once you have that intake form, this is the time to set expectations. You send it and you let them know, hey, I need you to fill this out in order for me to then review your answers, determine which service is the best for you, and to be able to quote you or submit a proposal or give you a quote for the package for the services and the fee that goes with it. Make sure you give them a deadline. Don't leave it open-ended. So let them know that, hey, you're going to get this in the next 24 hours. And if you could get it back to me within 48 hours or 72 hours after that, we would really appreciate it so that we can keep this process moving forward. There's a big difference with you taking the initiative but not being overly pushy. Respect their timing, respect that they have other things going on, give them plenty of time, but also leave them with the expectation that you do need their responses in order for you to then give them a proposal of fees. Now, of course, you can create your own intake questionnaire, but if you want a little shortcut, I do have an intake questionnaire ready for you. I created this for my own business as well as my bookkeepers and bookkeeping business owners out there. The intake questionnaire comes with an explainer video as well as an email script that I prepare that goes along with the questionnaire, so we can very clearly set expectations with a really good tone, professional yet friendly and understanding. I hope you have enjoyed today's video, and there's going to be another video being recommended to you on the screen shortly. Be sure to go watch that next. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Until next time, I'm Veronica. Bye for now.